Hello everyone, welcome back to our series of opening videos. Today's topic of discussion is going to be very interesting because it is one of my favorite openings, that is Vienna Game. But before we go further, I hope that you have enjoyed our previous videos related to Ruy Lopez opening and Joko Piano opening. If you have not seen those videos, then I will request you to do check out the links given in the description as well as in the I section above. And in the end, I'll be showing you the answer to my question which I asked in the previous video. So stay tuned till the end, okay? And coming to our today's topic, that is Vienna Game. Before we go further, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. So we are going to see this thing from white side. The game starts with e4, okay? Means that is the Vienna Game starts with e4 opening. Then black plays e5, and now instead of knight f3 or bishop c4, we are going to play knight to c3 square. This is the starting position of Vienna Game, okay? Black usually in this position has 2-3 options. One is knight to f6, then knight c6. Another option is that is d6. But okay, usually I'll say that knight f6 is a very common idea which we will be considering today. And here I personally like to play bishop c4. That is what I am going to recommend to you. But some players would like to develop this bishop on g2 square. They might go for g3. Then maybe black will play d5. E captures d5. Knight captures d5, and then bishop g2. Well, knight into c3 and b into c3. This is the way this can happen. But I'm not a big fan of this setup. But okay, it's your choice. If you want to go for g3 bishop g2, that is also a very viable option. Nothing really wrong about this thing, okay? Another option which is in the spirit of King's Gambit opening, which we'll be looking at in our next videos also, that is f4. This is also a very interesting option in this position. And then d5 will be played. We'll be considering this kind of positions in our videos related to the King's Gambit. So I'll just say that here the main line is f into e5. Then knight captures on e5, and then white goes for knight f3. Of course, this queen h4 check is coming and we need to protect against that thing. So bishop e7 and then queen e2 and so on, okay? Bishop can also be played on d3 square so that white can just castle in this position. And okay, the game will go on. Coming back to our main thing, the move which I recommend here is bishop c4, okay? After bishop to c4, if a player goes for, let's suppose, knight c6, which is a very common idea over here, then you can play d3. The idea of d3 is to prepare something related to f4, okay? And this bishop is already there on this diagonal. So black players can play bishop b4 or bishop c5, or you can even say black sometimes play knight a5. This is a little bit crazy move, you can say, because we have seen in our games or in our videos also that one piece should not be played again and again. That is against the opening principle. But some players play like this, and this is a okay move, okay, because there is nothing like wrong with this move. Only thing is that the knight is played in order to capture the bishop on c4 square. Now the thing is that the funny part is like you cannot really save your bishop from capturing, okay? If you play bishop to b3, then a6 will be played. If bishop goes back, then b5 will come, bishop will come here, and then knight into b3. Same thing is going to happen. So white players here in this position usually just leave that bishop on c4 square and play knight g e2, okay? This is what it is played. And then after knight into c4, you can play d into c4. You will get a very strong center here, means you have good control over the center. Black might play bishop to c5, then you can castle, then he will play d6, and then okay, you can bring your bishop out with bishop to g5. Maybe he'll play this thing, c4 pawn is being attacked. You can play queen d3, followed by you can play rook d1, knight will jump on d5 square, and after king h1, f4 is also one of the possibilities. Another important thing which I would like to say, that knight can also jump over to f5 square. This is also the possibility in the game. So this is how you can play if knight a5 is played, okay? Today's video is getting a little bit more deeper, I must say, okay? So let's see if bishop c5 is played. Then as I said, like f4 is a very interesting option in this situation which we can play. But we'll come to that thing in a different variation over here. Of course, knight f3 if you play, then this will be the normal setup of Joko Piano, which we already saw. So f4 is the most interesting variation in this position. And after f4, usually you don't capture here, because if you capture then bishop will just come out, then knight will also come out in this position, followed by, okay, you will be getting d4 at some point, and castling will be done, and white is kind of comfortable. You can even have this idea of queen d2 and long castle, because then your rook will be coming on the f file, and you can expand on the king side with h3 and g4 ideas. So now I think like overall you understood what you need to do in this opening. Okay, so I'll show you one more interesting factor about this opening is like, let's suppose he plays bishop c5, which is also a very interesting option, which I already mentioned. Now you will play d3, okay, your opponent will play d6, and now as I recommended earlier, f4 should be played, because f4 is in the spirit of the Vienna game. So after f4, knight g4 is a possibility, and after knight to g4, the good move in this position, okay, knight g4 is not the best move here. Black should play knight c6, the variation we just looked at. Knight f3 will be played, and then maybe he will play castles in this position, and you can block everything with f5. Or if he plays bishop g4, that's also a fine move here. After this you can go for this bishop, because white wants to castle, and this bishop is the one who is stopping everything. So white can play knight a5, and okay, you can go back, you can capture here ab6, and then you can castle, and white is completely fine. The point of playing whole thing is like you are playing on the f file, and you are not going to sacrifice the f4 pawn, just like you sacrifice in the king's gambit opening. Okay, fine. So this is the thing. So coming to our topic, this thing, the knight g4 is one of the moves which is very commonly played. Knight f2 to give this threat, but I'll say like knight g4 is kind of a mistake. Why is it a mistake? I'm going to show you now. Now white has a good move, that is f5. It's interesting idea. If knight f2 is there, then you don't need to worry about your rook or the queen. You can just go for queen h5. The point of queen h5 in this position is you are attacking on f7 with a threat of check and mate. Okay, so black might just castle in this case, then you just bring your knight up, then he might just capture the rook over here on h1, which is actually not a free rook. Okay, why it is not a free rook, I'm going to show you. You can play knight to g5. The point is like queen h7 is a just check and mate. So if h6 is played, you were attacking the pawn on f7 with 3 pieces, right? So you can capture knight into f7. If rook into f7, then queen into f7 check. And if king h8 is played, can you tell me the good move in this position? You can pause the video and think about it. Well, I hope that you have thought about this. The best move in this position is to play f6. The point is, if you capture queen into f6, then obviously queen g8 is a check and mate. And if you capture on f6 with the pawn, then bishop captures on h6, and queen g7 checkmate cannot be stopped, no matter what you do. Okay. Another option here in this position is to play king h7, and this is a very interesting position, I must say. Now again, the point of deflection will be here. The thing is that queen g8 is the threat, but this queen is protecting this thing, so we need to deflect the queen on d8. How will you do it? Well, the answer is just simply play queen to bishop to g5. Now if you place h into g5, then queen h5 is a check and mate, because this bishop is controlling this diagonal. And if queen g5 is played, then queen g8 is just a checkmate. Another important thing which we need to see is queen f8, which is actually the best move in the position. But as we know, here we can just capture here, so nothing will happen. So fine. So this is the thing. Just remember, after king h7, bishop g5 is the best move, and black is just lost. Okay. Another interesting thing, which before we go to our previous videos question, is like here, after bishop to c4. Okay, here in this position, if somebody captures knight into e4, then white has a very interesting option, that is bishop into f7. I'm telling you this thing that you should not fall for this thing from black side. Okay, so here if black captures on f7, then of course you can capture knight into e4, knight c6 will be played, then queen f3 check. And now you have to be careful here. From black side, you should not play king g8. You should play king e8. This is the best move, and the next move you'll play d5, bishop will come out, this bishop will also come out, and the rook will also come on g8, f8 square, and you are fine. But if you play king g8, this will lead to a lost position after knight to g5, because no matter what you do, if you capture the knight, then queen d5 is a check and mate. And if you play, let's suppose, queen f6 or something, then also queen d5 check, the queen will be lost for sure, and okay, white is just going to win. So this is how the pitfalls I talked about, the variations also I talked about the Vienna game. I hope you enjoyed this thing. And now coming to our previous video's question, the position was like this. This was the position and I asked that what should you play, e5 or d5, and the correct answer here is actually d5. Kudos to the people who talked about this thing, because now if you play knight e7, e5, knight e4 if you play, and the position is normal, okay, means you can castle in this position. This is also one of the ideas, and the position will go on, and white has a great control over there in the center, and I will prefer this position playing with the white pieces. So don't forget to like this videos and share this video with your friends also. We'll be meeting very soon with some interesting content. Till that moment, take care, goodbye, and love you all.